Hi YouTube, I'm Kirsty, and in case you missed NXT UK or NXT yesterday, I got you. Okay, sorry. I broke my earrings and I'm really sad because these were my WrestleMania earrings. Every year for WrestleMania, I don't wear a wrestling shirt, I dress like a princess, and you guys, sorry. No one cares about your life, Kirsty, they want wrestling. Alright, NXT UK started with a backstage promo of Travis Banks, aka Kiwi Buzzsaw, saying Walter botched it when he beat Pete Dunne and he's gonna botch it against him tonight. So, match. The first match of the night was Mark Andrews versus Joseph Connors. Mark just makes me happy. I feel like if I have a bad day, I just really want to hang out with him. I love his energy. He did a lot of flippy rope work. Connors grabs Mark's neck and bends him backwards and messed with Andrew's neck the whole night. And, of course, Connors kept messing with his neck the whole night. Connors had the upper hand the whole time until Andrews did the Stun Dog Millionaire into a moonsault and won. Then there was an outside promo of the Hunt just being angry, and Dave Mastiff came out and pumped them up, and they're going to fight Gallus, I think, next week. Even though, like, there's pay-per-view on Saturday, right? Like, am I not the only one that knows this? Well, it's Saturday in England, right? So, it's probably just time here, probably the same day. I don't know. I'm so bad with time zones. I miss, like, every favorite show ever. Alright, then the Grizzled Young Veterans come out. They say, apparently they're at a music festival right now, the NXT UK, that's what they were doing this time. So, Grizzled Young Veterans comes out, says they're mad they have to wrestle in a field, says the audience stinks, which sounds like a wrestler formerly known as Dean Ambrose. The music festival isn't music, it's just noise, and they'll be defending their tag team against Mustache Mountain on Saturday. They talked about the pay-per-view! Yes! Next Wednesday, we're going to have Rhea Ripley versus Piper Niven. And in 2 weeks, The Hunt and Dave Mastiff versus Gallus. Okay. Next, we have Killer Kelly versus Zaya Brookside. The second the bell rings, Zaya is just like, ah! Killer Kelly catches her and laughs. Beats her up a little bit, rakes her eyes. Zaya ends up coming back until Jenny and Jazzy Gabber come out. They just kind of watch. They're just a distraction. Have you guys seen Jazzy? I mean, the woman's a beast. She can beat everybody. Zaya recovers from the distraction, pins Killer Kelly for 3. Zaya wins. Next, there was an interview with Toni Storm about who she thinks Kaylee Ray is going to pick to fight, and Toni says, hey, I have the shiny. So it'll probably be me, but she'll be back in 2 weeks. Next, we have the Supernova Noam Dar versus Ligero, sorry. First, Noam was just mocking Ligero, like messing with his horns on his mask and whatnot. And every time Ligero wanted to do something cool, Noam would just like roll out of the way. Then a kick to the face made him shut his mouth. Kenny Williams then comes down the ramp. And I don't know if I missed this or if I just wasn't paying attention at that time. But apparently Noam Dar had told Kenny Williams that if he needed, like, a mentor, somebody to show him the ropes, to call him. So Kenny Williams, who Dar thinks is his friend, comes down with a steel chair and just sits at the bottom ringside and watches the fight. Ligero then does a clothesline to Dar, kick, and there's a lot of kicks and a lot of counters. And then Noam Dar does that thing he does where he, like, oh, my knee hurts so bad. So the ref goes over to talk to Ligero, and Noam Dar's telling Kenny Williams, like, hey, let me see that chair. Hey, buddy. So Kenny starts skimming the chair, and it's like, psych, just kidding. But Ligero saw the whole thing, so he rolls Noam up for 3. I say psych now because our Truth said it. I don't know. I haven't said it since like the 90s. Then we have our championship match of NXT UK tonight. Last night. Thursday? Is today Thursday? I don't know. It's Walter versus Travis Banks, aka Buzzsaw Kiwi. Walter throws Kiwi on the top turnbuckle, like uses him as a human bridge, is climbing on him to climb over him to just toss him away. I mean, Kiwi Buzzsaw is just getting absolutely decimated. But finally, he just starts kicking and kicking and kicking and chopping and chopping. He finally gets Walter down. Buzzsaw does a double stuff, covers, but Walter kicks out. Walter puts him in a Boston Crab, but Buzzsaw hits the rope with his foot. Then Kiwi actually is able to drop kick Walter out of the ring, dives, Walter boot to face. Then Walter picks him up and does the most painful looking powerbomb onto the apron I have ever seen. Drags Buzzsaw back in the ring, does another powerbomb just for show. Walter retains. So that was NXT UK, and you guys, NXT, we're about to get into this. I literally just finished watching it. If you didn't watch NXT, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, and I literally forgot about every one while watching this. So tonight, last night, whatever night, was the breakout tournament. Do you guys remember about this, where it's people that have not yet appeared on NXT TV are going to be doing a tournament? Tonight was night 1. First we have Joaquin Wilde, who's from Chicago, and he almost died in 2017. But he didn't say why, and I'm a little salty about it because I'm nosy. But he has like a scar on him, like huge. Then we have Angel Garza, who's from Monterrey, Mexico. He's a 3rd generation lucha libre, and he's Humberto's cousin. So Joaquin, he does some nice and really unique rope work. I liked that. Garza had a lot of style and strength, and he did like the Cesaro swing, but you can't call it that because he's not Cesaro. Oh, and then at one point he like took off his pants and he had like trunks underneath, and he threw him at Joaquin. Joaquin Wilde did this really cool dive like in the corner. So he was outside the ring, he dove into the ring and past the other set of ropes. I thought that was really cool. Garza ended up doing an amazing avalanche and won with a butterfly stomp, so he's going to move on. Then they showed a Kushida highlight reel, which is cool. Backstage interview with Damian Priest, who literally said, "No questions, my name will live forever." It was all very ominous. Next we have Street Profits, and I hope everyone starts saying their name like Hot Pockets because it's fun and they're fun guys. It's them versus the Forgotten Sons. After some amazing banter, as per usual, Montez and Angelo decide they're putting their titles on the line tonight. They're fighting Cutler and Blake, and Riker's ringside. Now, first the Forgotten Sons are just absolutely working Montez. Finally, he's able to tag Dawkins, who's just slamming, suplexing, spinning slash to both Cutter and Blake. But finally, Cutter's the one in the ring, and Dawkins tags Montez. Montez does a frog splash, cover, 1, 2. Riker pulls him out of the ring by his feet, throws him. The other 2 Forgotten Sons start going after Dawkins. Then, who should come down the ramp but Lorcan and Birch? They run out, help the Profits. The match is obviously DQ'd at this point. So Cutler and Blake are walking up the ring with Riker, and they both start to lunge back into the ring, and Riker like pulls their hair back to stop them. That's their friend. That's so mean. So the Profits turn back toward Lorcan and Birch, and they are Lorcan's holding a title, Burch is holding a title. At first, Lorcan will not let Montez have it, and then Burch stops him, and he gives his to Dawkins, and he says, "These are yours, but remember, you owe us." I think that is things to come. And we had Nikos Ricos versus Keith Lee. Oh my gosh, do you guys watch, like, NXT UK and they do that chant, like, da 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 da? It gets stuck in my head. That kind of sounds like Seven Nation Army. Is that the song? Anyway, it gets stuck in my head. No idea what they were saying. And I always have captions on because I have a child. They are saying all bask in his glory. I don't know if it's about Keith Lee or Keith Lee took it. It's amazing. Ricos tries to push Keith Lee. Nothing. Gives him a chop. Keith Lee has no reaction. Then Keith Lee does a neckbreaker fireman's carry into a power slam. It was a squash match. Next we had an Adam Cole promo about how he's defending his title all over the world, and Johnny Gargano didn't have private jets. He didn't do this. Da 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 da. It shows him at all these different events, and then his car stops. He gets out. He's in front of a place called Gargano Subs. So I think some stuff's going to happen with that at some point. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is like the craziest match ever. It's the women's NXT title match in a steel cage. It is the first time in history a woman's defending her title in a steel cage. It's Io Shirai versus Shayna Baszler. I don't know if I breathed through this whole thing. Like, I had to keep pausing so I could write. But every time I looked down, like, I'd miss something else. First, there was a lot of submissions and reversals. Then, Shayna did, I don't think we can call it a curb stomp because that's Seth Rollins' thing. And I don't even know if he calls it a curb stomp anymore. But she did that to Io. Then, just tried to walk out the cage. Io wasn't having it. Grabs her foot, drops her to the knees, kicks her. Then, Io's trying to climb up the cage. Shayna throws her back into the cage. She keeps throwing her against the cage, and a couple times she lands between the rope and the cage, which I feel like that would hurt so much more than just hitting the cage and bouncing off. I could be wrong. Baszler stands on her throat some, throws her into the cage more. Finally, Shayna's running at Io. Io moves out of the way. Shayna hits the cage. Io gives her a drop kick, sends her back into the cage. Double knees, sends her back into the cage. So Shayna's laying in the ring. Io stands on the top turnbuckle. So we're thinking genius of the sky. Let's do this. No, she starts climbing up the cage. Shayna regains herself. She starts climbing up the cage. Catches her, does the Karakuda clutch on the top rope. So Io falls. Then Shayna starts climbing up the cage. Io catches her, German suplex off the top rope. Shayna's laying there, pretty hurt. Io's crawling to the cage door. Who should come down the ramp? Is it any surprise? Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. They're there, so Jess the ref closes the gate, doesn't lock it though. Shayna comes up from behind of Io, Karakuda clutch again. So then Io kicks the door. It hits Jessamine, Marina, and Jess the ref. They all go down. Then she knocks Shayna down and starts to go for the open gate. And Shafir locks the gate. So Io starts climbing the cage. But so does Shafir. They meet each other at the very top. Shafir slams Io's face on it, so Io's lying horizontally, knocked out. Who should come down the ramp? Candice LeRae. Oh my gosh, guys, this is such a good match. She climbs up the cage, knocks Shafir down. Io's knocked out on the top of the cage. Candice is trying to wake her. So meanwhile, Shafir goes in the cage and is trying to drag Shayna to the opening. Well, Candice LeRae is not going to let that happen. Candice LeRae dives off, hits Shafir. Baszler recovers, dives on LeRae. Everybody's diving on everybody. Shayna starts hobbling towards the gate. Io has recovered. Moonsault off the top of the cage. At this point, the crowd starts chanting Yowie Wowie. I am so not joking, and it was the best moment of my life. So, at this point, the moonsaults hurt Io, and she was already hurt before. It hurt Shayna, and she was already hurt before. So they're doing the thing where, like, they're both, like, crawling to the gate. So Io gets there first. Shayna pulls her back. Shayna starts going. Io pulls her back. Io goes. She is halfway out of the gate. But Shayna catches her, does the Karakuda clutch. Just when we think Io's out, Io grabs the open cage door and starts slamming Shayna Baszler in the face with it. Shayna Baszler is knocked out. She's knocked out, but all of her body weight was leaning forwards, so she falls out of the ring, hits the ground first, she retains. The horsewomen pick her up. They all limp up the ramp. Candice LeRae comes over, puts her arm around Io, is comforting her. Io punches her in the face. Io heel turn, everybody. Io just starts beating her, jumps out of the cage, gets a steel chair, and starts beating Candice LeRae with that. So just before it ends, it shows Io Shirai walking up the ramp. She's screaming in Japanese, and finally she says, "I don't need a friend." This was the craziest match I've seen in a long time. I still don't think I can sleep tonight because I'm just so pumped up from it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much to my new subscribers. If I don't annoy you too much, feel free to subscribe. If you're looking for a podcast, The Amazing Ozbanks and I do one called Beyond Serious. It is not safe for work. You can follow me on Twitter at always_KIRSTIE. I live tweet things and sometimes I'm funny. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. And as Joel McHale used to say, I watch it so you don't have to. Bye!